What's up, guys? In this video, I am going to make cold calls. I am going to make live cold calls here so you can see how I navigate these conversations and how I go through the script and open up conversations to try to find opportunities. So this is exactly how my team makes cold calls every day, and I'm going to walk you guys through it. So let's go into Mojo here. So I have the dialing session up. I am just going to start the power dialer here and start dialing, and I'm gonna have to dial into the server here. So 792.
Using your touchtone phone, please enter your PIN number. You are now logged into the Mojo dialer. Please press the start button on your screen to begin calling.
And here we go. So you're going to notice a couple of things when and these are the things that I continue to try to.
Hello?
Hi, is this Don?
Who's this?
Hey, this is Nick. Hey, I was actually calling you about a property I believe you might own on North Willow Ave, and I was curious if you had any interest in selling. Okay, so he hung up, and I'm going to go back into the dialer here. So what I was saying is you're going to see that there's some there's a lot of consistencies in the way that I have these calls, and this is how I talk with, or how I teach my team to have conversations as well, is we don't really have a script. Our conversations are framed around the 4 pillars of qualification, and if you don't know what those are, go check out one of my earlier videos that's titled The 4 Pillars of Qualification. Either that or maybe it's called Pre-Qualifying Leads, but I talk about that in that video, so go watch that. But our conversations are framed around the 4 pillars of pre-qualification, but the only script that we have is, and you can see it here, on the Mojo interface, but we have the very beginning scripted because you have about 10 seconds to buy the next 60 seconds with a lead once they get on the phone, right? So we want to make sure that we are maximizing those couple of seconds. And when I say maximizing, what I mean is making sure that it comes off as a friendly call, and we're doing everything that we can to make sure that it's not a cold, or it doesn't sound like a cold call, right? We don't want it to seem like it's coming from a call center, which it's not. It's coming from individuals, but we want it to sound like it's a friendly call rather than a sales call, because everybody's going to have their walls up immediately, and our job is to kind of break them down and get them comfortable, right? So we have the beginning scripted, and it's going to be very consistent. So Thon, as soon as I mentioned the property, he hung up, so I'm going to mark him not interested and then press contact. And then it's going to keep going. But every seller, I'm going to open it up with the same opening lines, roughly, right? They might change a little bit, but it's going to be the same. I'm going to confirm that I am calling or talking to the person that I'm trying to call. Then I'm going to identify who I am, and I'm going to say who I am and why I'm calling, right? Hey, I'm reaching out, curious if you have any interest in selling the property here. And then he's...
Can I help you?
Hi there, I'm looking for Kira.
This is Florida. How can I help you, sir?
Oh,
You
good.
have home family that care open?
No, I think I probably have some bad information. I think I got the wrong number. So have a great day.
Okay, this is okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, so I'm going to press bad number to get rid of that phone number. And we're just going to keep going. What was I saying? Yeah, so once I identify who I am and why I'm calling, there's really only going to be a few responses that a seller can give, right? So the common response is once somebody actually, I confirm that it's them and then I ask about the property, they're either going to say yes, no, who are you, what's your offer, or how did you get my information, right? And so that's really the majority of the answers that you're going to get. And once you learn how to overcome each of those.
This is Jesse.
Hi there, this is Nick. I'm sorry, I might not have the right information here. I was looking to get in touch with the owner of a property at 1904 West Okaloosa. That's yours? Oh, okay. Well, hey, I'm sorry. I don't mean to catch you at a bad time if I did, but I was calling about the property there, curious if you had any interest in selling it.
Nope.
I understand. Did you by chance have did you have any other property or land in the area you might be interested in selling?
I'm a realtor, so I've got properties that are listed in MLS if you want interest on those.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're typically looking for stuff that we can put some work into. Are any of them fixer-uppers? Gotcha. Well, then, yeah, I'm probably not a good buyer for you. But, hey, I appreciate your time anyway. You have a great day, okay? So once you get through that opening line of the script, there's really,
Hello.
hi, I'm looking for Luana.
Yes.
Hi, yeah, this is Nick. Hey, I was actually calling you about a property I think you might own on West Broad Street, and I was curious if you had any interest in selling the property there.
No, not at all.
Got it. Did you by chance have any other property or land in the area you might be interested in selling?
No.
Understood. Well, thank you so much for your time anyway. I appreciate it. You have a great day. This is Nick. I was looking for Elida.
It's me?
Hey there. Yeah, I was calling you actually about a property I believe you might own on North Dexter Ave, and I was curious if you had any interest in selling the property there.
I'm sorry, sir. I not sell the property. Thank you very much.
I understand. Did you by chance have any other property or land in the area you might be interested in selling?
Right now.
Gotcha. No problem. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. So once you get through the opening lines of a script, a seller is really only going to give you 5 main answers, right? It's either going to be yes, no, who are you? Yes, no, who are you? What's your offer, or how did you get my number, right? Sometimes you'll get something else, but those are the main ones. And once you learn how to overcome those, not objections, but once you learn how to answer all of those questions confidently and then open up the conversation for, more pre-qualification, then really cold calling becomes very easy. I know a lot of people have, they have hesitations, they have fears of cold calling. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, I'm looking for Alexis.
Yes.
Hey, yeah, this is Nick. I was calling you actually about a property I think you might own on West Hamiller Ave, and I was curious if you had...
Sell my house.
I understand. Did you by chance have any other property or land in the area you might be interested in selling?
No.
Got it. Well, thank you so much for your time anyway. You have a great day.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
A lot of people have fears of cold calling, which it makes sense. I've had some hesitations when I first got started as well. But once you learn and once you realize that a lot of these conversations are very repetitive, and once you understand who you are and the value that you provide, it's really pretty easy to make cold calls. And you can find yourself cooking yourself breakfast, cleaning the house, doing other things while you're making cold calls, maybe with headphones in and AirPods or something, and you can just hop back and forth between the dialer, right? Because if you guys can hear that, there's a beeping tone every time the phone picks up. So if I wasn't paying attention and looking at the computer, if I hear that beep, I can look at the computer and then get right into the script, right? So, but yeah, this is pretty much it. It's just repetitive over and over the same thing. It's going to be repetitive over and over. You're going to be having the same conversations. Most people are going to say no. It takes probably, I think, for me personally, every time I cold call, it seems to... Hello? Hi, I'm looking for Danny. That's a voicemail. When I cold call, it seems to be around like every 20 to 30 conversations I can get a lead. With VAs, a lot of the time it's going to be more like 40 to 60 conversations to get a lead. So most of them are going to be of the same flow, right? Hey, I'm calling about this property. Curious if you have any interest in selling. No. Okay, I understand. Do you have any other property that you might be interested in selling? And then if they say no to that, then you thank them for your time and you move on to the next call, right? And that's why I really I was very against the thought of cold calling when I first got started looking into this industry. But then I realized I'm not trying to talk to anybody that doesn't want to talk to me. So if they don't want to sell, then it's just, okay, sorry, thank you for your time. Sorry to bother you. Have a great day, right? So you're not trying to waste people's time. If they don't want to sell, you don't want to buy, right? So it's not like you're selling, you're cold calling trying to sell some kind of technology or
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person
some kind of technology or like a weight loss pill or something like that, right? You're trying to sell stuff to people that don't want it, and you have to try to keep them on the phone. Like, if you don't want to sell your house, I don't want to talk to you. So on to the next one, politely, of course. Thank you for your time. Sorry to bother you. On to the next one. But this is when I first got started. I just did this all day, right? All day, every day. And now that's what my team does. I have 4 virtual assistants that they do this all day, and then they send those leads in, and then we have a sales team that follows up with them. So, but this is how I got started. I just sat here making calls all day. And you can make a lot of money doing it.
time to reach it.
You shouldn't expect to get, a lead quickly. or I'm sorry, a deal quickly. It certainly can happen. As a matter of fact, we just locked up a deal this morning that one of my virtual assistants cold called last Thursday, and today is Tuesday morning. So it can be quick. I would say the average sales cycle is probably going to be between 2 and 3 months for a cold call, because a lot of the time you're identifying these people before they've like really officially made the decision to sell. They just are, you know, thinking about it, or they're getting ready to do it. So there's a lot of follow-up that is usually involved. But every once in a while you can get a quick deal. So, but if you are especially low on budget and you have the time, this is the best way to get started in wholesaling real estate by far, in my opinion, right? There's other ways that you can get deals quicker. There's other marketing channels where you can get deals quicker, but you're gonna, in most of those cases, spend a lot of money. And if you don't know how to talk to sellers and you spend $10,000 on PPC, then if you don't lock any of those up, you're $10,000 down, right? Whereas when I first got started, I was running my entire business for a couple $100 a month between the dialer. I use Mojo Dialer. If anybody wants a referral for Mojo Dialer, leave a comment below or shoot me a DM or something, and I think I can send you a link that gets you like $25 off or something like that off your first month. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll look into that. And then I pull this from PropStream, which I will link the... Hello? Hello, Olive? Okay, on to the next one. I'll link the PropStream link below, where you can get a full access free trial. The normal access, or the normal free trial, gives you limited access, but if you use my code, you get full access. Those are the systems that I started with. I skip trace with batch skip tracing. I also have a promo code if you use promo code Nick.
Hello?
Hi, I'm looking for Rolando.
Yeah, I'm gonna help you.
Hey there, this is Nick. I was calling you actually about a property I think you might own on West Wood Street, and I was curious if you had any interest in selling.
No, it's not.
I understand. I understand. Did you by chance have any other property or land in the area that you might be interested in selling?
No.
Got it. Thank you so much for your time anyway. You have a great day.
All right.
Bye-bye. If you use promo code Nick at checkout for batch skip tracing, you will get, I think, like a cent a record, or a cent off per record. I think it's normally like 7 cents, but if you use my code, you'll get 6 cents per record.
Hello.
Hi, this is Nick. Hey, I'm actually... Hey, can you hear me?
Huh?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Nick. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm actually not even sure if I have the right information here. I was looking to get in touch with the owner of a property at 302 West Kirby.
That's me.
Yeah, hey, well, I'm sorry. I don't mean to call you out of the blue like this. I was just curious if you had any interest in maybe selling the property there.
No.
I understand. Did you by chance have any...
Thank you.
I understand. Did you by chance have any other property or land in the area that you might be interested in selling?
Well, they're not for sale, so
Nothing that you're thinking about selling?
no, not right now.
I understand. Are you thinking maybe, you know, down the road you're going to be looking to sell something, or would something crazy have to happen?
Probably.
Probably. Okay. Well, should I follow up with you at some point?
Call back in 2 weeks. My husband's busy right now.
Okay.
He's out of town, so
Okay. I understand.
you
But
need to talk to him.
got it. But you guys are thinking maybe in the next like couple weeks you're going to want to start thinking about selling a property?
Talk to him.
I understand. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. I'll give you a call back in a few weeks. Are you there? She must have hung up. Okay. I mean, that's an ugly house. The house looks like it needs some work. And it sounded like they might be looking to sell another house before too long. This isn't a very qualified lead, but it could be something. It could be something. I'm going to send in the lead. So this is how we send in our leads, and then I'll just call back in a couple of weeks and see if they're actually serious about selling. So at least the way that our CRM is set up, we will send the notes in here. So here, let me think. What did we just talk about? So she said, husband spoke with the wife. Husband is out of town, and they might be looking to sell, but she didn't want to give any info. All right. So then I'm going to post this, and then I'm going to press lead. So then that's going to send it into Podio, and we will follow up with that seller in a couple weeks and see if they're actually a real lead. If you haven't noticed, most of the time I call the seller by first name only, and I only use the street name, right? And that's how I instruct my team to make calls. But there are a couple of times or a couple of instances where we'll do what's called the confused approach, where we don't call them by first name and we use the full street address. The reason why we want to call them by first name only and use the street name only is to sound more neighborly and less like a cold call, right? Again, everything is trying to make it seem less like it's a cold call from a call center, and it's, you know, a friendly neighborhood home buyer just calling around to see if people want to sell, right? So most of the time we are going to use seller first name only and street name only. But there's a couple of different times, or a couple of different instances where we will go with the confused approach, and they're the following. So the first instance is going to be if we call and the title is owned in like an LLC or a trust or something like that, or if it's a really hard name to pronounce and you don't want to butcher it. That's the first instance. Second is if it is if I call on like the name on here is Robert, and for instance on this one, let me bring it back up. So I called looking for Robert. If a female picks up, like an obviously female voice, and I say, hey, is this Robert? You might get something like, do I sound like a Robert to you? Or, right, it just immediately starts the call off on a bad note. So instead of doing that or mispronouncing their name or whatever, we'll say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I have the right information here, but I was looking to get in touch with the owner of 302 West Kirby Street, right? So at that point, we'll use the full address, but only when we're going from like the confused approach. Otherwise, we're using seller first name only, and only the street name to sound more neighborly, right? So that's how most of these calls go. So let's go on to the next one. Hi, this is Nick. I'm looking for Miguel.
Speaking.
Hey, Miguel. Yeah, I was calling you actually about a property I think you might own on Silver Lake Ave, and I was curious if you had any interest in selling the property there.
You an investor?
I am.
I can't deal with you guys, man. You guys are pennies on the dollar, man. I rented the whole house, upgraded everything, granite top, kitchens, swimming pool in the backyard. I mean, I've gone above and beyond because it's my home and it's paid for.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
it
doesn't sound like something that it doesn't sound like something an investor would make a reasonable offer on.
No. You guys want something a little bit where you can, I don't know, need some work or whatever, but
Yeah, exactly. Well, we need to buy stuff that we can fix up and make some money. So if it's already been fixed up, there's really no value for us to add. So yeah, it would make more sense for you to just list it on the market.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, hey, I understand. Did you guys have any other property or land in the area that you would consider selling? Maybe something that needs some work?
Not in Florida.
No.
Not in Florida. I got 10 acres in Tennessee. I have a home in the Caribbean, in Puerto Rico. And,
Oh, wow.
I have 2 homes here, but neither one are for sale. One my mother lives in, and the one that's in question, 2518.
Gotcha.
I
Cool.
wish I did.
Yeah. Hey, man. Well, it sounds like you're sitting on some nice properties, so I'd hold on to them if I was you.
Call them.
Love it. Love it, man. Well, hey, I appreciate your time. Thanks for taking my call. You have a great rest of your day, and God bless, all right?
Thank you. God bless.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well,
Hi, this is Nick. I'm looking for Monica.
who's this?
Yeah, this is Nick. I was actually calling you about a property I believe you might own on 14th Avenue. And I was curious if you had any interest in selling the property there.
It's sold.
Oh, you've already sold the house. Have you closed, or are you still waiting for your funds? Oh, you've already gotten paid for it and everything. Okay. Darn, I'm a little bit late to the party. You didn't by chance have any other property or land in the area you'd be interested in selling, did you?
No.
Gotcha. Well, no problem. Thank you so much for your time anyway. You have a great day. So whenever somebody tells me that the house is already sold, I always want to ask them if they've gotten their funds already, or if they're still waiting for them, right? Because if they have not gotten their funds, that means it's still in escrow and they could fall out, right? Their buyer could not perform. It could be a wholesaler that locked it up too high or whatever. So we'll ask if they've gotten their funds or not, and if they haven't, then if they haven't gotten their funds yet, then we'll send them into the system and follow up until they either close or fall out of contract, and then we'll put in a backup offer. So once we get somebody on the phone that actually is interested in... Hello? Oh, it's a voicemail. So once we get somebody on the phone that's
An automatic voice message system.
actually interested in selling, right? They say that they're interested. We go through the whole beginning of that call, and they say, yes, we are interested, right? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? I don't know if that was a bad number or what was going on, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, when we actually get somebody on the phone,
Please leave your message for 21.
when we actually get somebody on the phone that's actually interested in selling, and I'd like to get one of these on here so I can actually go through the qualification process, but we just stick with, we don't really have much of a script, right? The beginning is scripted. I say the same thing over and over, but then once we get through that part and we identify that the person is interested in selling, then we just have a conversation with them, right? Hi, this is Nick. I'm looking for Bruce.
Hello. Speaking.
Hey Bruce, yeah, I was calling you actually about a property I believe you might own on Jackson Road, and I was curious if you had any interest in selling the property there.
Ready.
Oh, you sold it already. Man, I'm a little bit late to the party. Have you already closed and gotten your funds, or are you still waiting?
Yes, yeah, it's already closed.
Oh, okay, got it. Man, I'm a little bit late. All right. Did you by chance have any other property or land in the area you might consider selling, or is that the only one?
So now.
Understood. Okay. Well, thanks a lot for your time anyway. I hope you have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
You too. Thanks. See.
Dang, 2 in a row that I've already sold. That's interesting. I wonder if this is an older list or something. But once we get somebody on the phone that actually is interested in selling, we don't really have much of a script. It's more so just like have a quality conversation with that person around the 4 pillars of qualification, right? And I think I already touched on that earlier in this video.
Please leave your message for.
But it really all just comes back to the 4 pillars of qualification, which is condition, motivation, timeline, and price. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, I'm looking for Joseph.
Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah, this is Nick. I was actually calling you about a property I believe you might own on Cove Drive.
No, can you take excuse me, can you just take my name off your list, please?
Yep, no problem. Bye-bye. So that's a situation where we'd hit DNC contact because he doesn't ever want to be called again. Yeah, it's condition, motivation, timeline, price, right?
Voice message.
I'd love to be able to get one of these on the call or on this YouTube video so you can hear me go through the actual pre-qualification. But really, if you can get that information, the condition of the property, the motivation, the timeline, and the price, you have everything that you need, right? And this first cold call, you don't have to run comps, you don't have to make offers, you don't have to do all of that stuff. You just focus on having a quality conversation and getting information about the property according to the 4 pillars of qualification, right? And then after that, it's about following up, it's about building rapport. But this is just that first impression where you can kind of filter through the list of all of these.
Thank you for calling Time Speaker Recognition.
Where you can filter through this big list of data and comb through it and see the people that raise their hand and say, yeah, I'm interested in selling, right? And then you qualify them further or disqualify them through follow-up, through making offers, through asking the right questions. This is just about going and taking a big bulk list and turning it into a list of leads that you then follow up with, right? So some people, they want to run...
This is Roxanne, and thank you for calling.
Some people want to do a bunch of comps. They want to understand the property and what they can offer for it before they ever even call a seller. And that's a great way to waste time, right? Because you don't know if they're interested in selling. You don't know if they're interested in selling for a price that makes sense for an investor. So you have to go through the qualification process and then focus on the leads that actually have a problem that you can solve, right? So that's the big thing with cold calling is you're going through a big list of data and you're just finding the people that say, yeah, I'd be interested in selling. And then you further pre-qualify, you further qualify them through the follow-up. This is how we cold call, guys, and you can make a lot of money just sitting back and doing this. And then making sure that you, like I said, follow up with those sellers.
Call has been forwarded to an...
And work to solve their problems. But I hope this video has helped. I'll stay on here, make a couple more calls. Hopefully we can actually get somebody on the phone. But I think you kind of get the idea of how I handle these cold calls, how I go through it, right? Just to recap again, I want to call the owner by first name only. I want to call myself by first name only. I want to address their property by...
135.
I want to address their property as only the street name, right? I don't want to say 123 Main Street. I just want to say Main Street. And I want to... The whole reason for all of this is to come across as more neighborly and less like a cold call.
703.
If they're not interested in selling the property, you always want to ask if they have other properties that they might be interested in selling. Make sure that you're always asking about if they have other properties that they want to sell. But on top of that, one other thing that I always tell my team is to treat every connection with a homeowner as an opportunity to find an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? So even if it's the wrong number, even if they say, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, I have nothing to do with the house, treat that as an opportunity to find an opportunity and just say, hey, well, while I got you here, I'm looking to buy houses in Tampa Bay or wherever you're at. Did you by chance have any houses that you might be interested in selling? In fact, one of my first deals came from that. I called on the wrong name, the wrong number, and the guy answered. He's like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about, man. And I said, well, hey, I'm looking to buy some houses in Tampa Bay. Did you by chance have any that you're looking to sell? And he was like, actually, my dad died a few months ago, and my brother and I, we don't know what to do with this house, right? And I was able to go out and get that deal. And that was actually one of my first deals, and that never would have happened if I would have just been like, oh, okay, wrong number, sorry. Well, just go on to the next one, right? Treat every opportunity or every connection as an opportunity to find an opportunity. But those are the main questions that we ask, guys. And if you do that just over and over, again, it's going to be repetitive, but you are absolutely going to find homeowners that want to sell. And that's the business, right? It's a very simple business, guys. Conversations, offers, contracts. If you're not having enough contracts, you're not making enough offers. If you're not making enough offers, it's because you're not having enough conversations, right? This business is very simple. We complicate it. So get out on the phones. I hope this video helped. If you have any questions, comment them below. Shoot me a message. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Hey, one more thing, guys, before we end this video. I know that in this video, there was no full pre-qualification call where I was able to go through each of the 4 pillars with that seller and show you how I handle that, but we do have call recordings of it. So if you liked this video and you got an idea of how to handle the beginning of that conversation, but you want to see how the rest of it goes after a seller actually says yes, then shoot me a DM or a comment under this video saying call recording, and I will send you a couple call recordings of a full qualification call from my team to sellers. So thank you guys, and I will see you in the next video.